High definition sports, Hunter Dawing, your boy. So we're gonna do a 32 team 7 round mock draft series. Obviously we're gonna start with the first pick, which would be the Tennessee Titans. Um, and what you guys believe, please refer in the comment section what you guys think that the Titans should make moves on in this pending offseason. Key because, there's been a lot of rumblings like what this team's going to do. With the first pick, I've heard Abdul Carter, I know the new general manager that they hired from Kansas City, said he wouldn't be opposed to taking someone that is generational, and that's a lot of leads to a lot of interpretation with it being Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. Um, for me, I think the first pick is going to be Cam Ward. If you follow me on TikTok, I said this past summer before the NFL football season started that Cam Ward would be the first pick of the NFL draft. And I can cite that. I made a bet on it. I think the bet was like 28 to 1 odds. I put $100 on it. So I obviously financially I am, a little biased on it, but in my opinion, Cam Ward is the best quarterback in this draft. I don't believe they're going to come back with Will Levis for the next season. Right. So let's just address this team. Receiver wise, this room is pretty shaky. Calvin Ridley showed some glimpses of his old self that he's really not there. Treylon Burks definitely looks like a bust. Bryce Oliver, Colton Dowell, Tate Martin, Stanley Morgan Jr. Nothing to write home about. Jaquan Jackson. Um, yeah, he's fast. It's about all. The nice thing. Like Mason Kinsey again. Like some of these guys will actually make this roster, which is insane at wide receiver. They just signed Van Jefferson. They overpaid for Dan Moore Jr. But they really shored up this offensive line after addressing it in the first round in two previous drafts with Peter Skoronski, Kevin Zeitler, the signing him, but J.C. Latham and Peter Skoronski and previous two drafts in the first round. Um, they really have shored this offensive lineup and also signing in Lloyd Cushenberry from Denver. Tight end room, I like Chico Okonkwo. They took Josh Wiley, Cincinnati. Uh, you can upgrade this tight end room as well. Running back room, Tony Pollard, Ty J. Spears. It's average. It's not the best, not the worst. It's average. It's not elite. It's not good. It's average. Um, so you don't really need to address it too much. Defense, however, love the defense. I really do. Let's start with Sebastian Joseph Day. He's obviously still a pretty good player. Devondre Sweat's a stud. Keondre Coburn behind him is a good rotational fit. Jeffrey Simmons is a stud. Pro Bowl, potential all pro guy right there with him and Devondre Sweat. Uh, the signing of Draymond Jones is a very sneaky addition for this defense, and so is Cody Barton from Denver. It's going to be really, really beneficial for this team to use their linebackers correctly, but obviously address it, hopefully in the draft. Maybe James Williams can pop up and then he turns into that guy. He was a former safety at Miami. It hasn't really panned out yet. He also fell due to the fact of they don't know exactly which place he can play. Like he's very versatile, but he just can't, he doesn't have enough to become that guy. Arden Key, I like Arden Key a lot. I believe they retained him. I like him a lot. L'Jarius Sneed, obviously, we got another trade that they made last year for L'Jarius Sneed. Amani Hooker's a good player. Nothing to write home about. Signing Xavier Woods is a good player. Nothing to write home about. Love Jarvis Brownlee. I don't know if you watched my videos last year. Was a huge fan of Jarvis Brownlee Jr. out of Louisville. Kid had great tape. I remember when I was coaching at the University of Texas, we we were studying Louisville's defense, and Jarvis Brownlee was a big time player that we were studying upon. We would do our film reviews in the off season. He's a guy that seriously, when you watch his tape, he's a damn good corner, and I could not figure out why he was falling to the fifth round. But sometimes you do, man. Like it just is what it is. Roger McCreary also great player. So, um, that being said, there's a lot of needs on this team. Okay, and we are going to get into it with this 7 round mock and see what we can do to further um this team's needs. You know what I mean? Like it's a big deal. Dude, everything is just freaking out today. Everything's freaking out today. But just if you haven't watched my videos before, just quick background about me. Um I've coached college football. I've coached overseas internationally in Australia as an offensive coordinator mostly, but I worked at the University of Texas under Blake Gideon, the safeties coach at University of Texas. Great, love him to death. Worked under GJ Kinney, the now head coach at the University of Texas State at Incarnate Word when he was at Incarnate Word. So yes, I am a little bit biased to Cam Ward and Cam Ward's game. Um, Obviously, if you don't know, if you haven't watched any of his games and they talk about it nonstop, he went to Incarnate Word. He was the man, and he went to Washington State and then Miami. Now he's gonna be the first pick of the draft, in my opinion. And yeah, let's get into it, man. So we're gonna be the Tennessee Titans, 7 round mock draft. We're not gonna do any trades. Um, the trade machine's broken on this game. Uh, Game predictor tool, whatever you want to use, it'll offer you absurd amount of trades that make zero sense, and it's just not how you conduct business. Like this right here, that's not how you conduct business. That is not what you would bank off of. You know what I mean? That is a terrible assessment tool, and that is not how you're gonna do trades in real life. That seems more reasonable what Pittsburgh would offer. Giants, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Completely unacceptable. So, first pick of the draft, we'll take Cam Ward. They don't, I believe the Titans do not own their 3rd round pick. So, we'll go from there and we'll just play it and see how it goes. And I'll talk the options out when we get to that pick. If you guys disagree, just let me know in the comments, man. I reply to every single one, man. If you want to, if you like the channel, stick around, subscribe, like it, I love it all, man. Like I just do this because I love football. I love the game. Um, and yeah, man. So here we go. We do not need defensive tackles, and the run on D tackles has not started yet. Apparently, Derek Harmon's still here, Tyleik Williams is still here, Walter Nolan's still here, Kenneth Grant's here. So if you need a running back, it's a great place to be. Running back, Omarion Hampton's still here. Don't really need that though. You know what I mean? Like we're not gonna get crazy over here. So when you get to this pick, we have some options here that we can look at and conduct this in the correct manner. You technically do need an edge. Um, he did sign Draymond, not a long-term deal. Arden Key, same deal. So you can look at taking that edge position, or you could look at taking a receiver because you need to bolster that wide receiver room if you're going to help out your quarterback and move. Okay. So so have options. It's a good place to be in this predicament. Um, I would not take Restrepo personally. I think this is extremely rich to take a guy like Restrepo. Best case scenario, NFL career, he can be Julian Edelman if you give him a superstar quarterback that can be a dependable receiver. Okay. But that needs to be in a scheme that did where you have all options and he's not the first option. Okay. We're not talking about Edelman with Tom Brady. We're talking about an actual offense with a quarterback that's not the greatest of all time. Cam Ward probably is not going to be the greatest of all time, and that's okay. I think he can be damn good. I think he could be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. That's my assessment of him when I graded the tape. Um, in the past 3 years, I think I have Drake May rated. In the past 3 years, I've done this. I think I have Drake May as 1, I had Jaden Daniels at 2 in the past 3 years, and I have Cam Ward at 3. And that's over Caleb Williams. It's over all these other guys. I think he has the potential to be that good. So with the next pick, we're going to look at how we're going to assess this draft board here. I really like a guy like Trey Harris. Um, the problem with Trey Harris is the lack of tape against adequate competition in the SEC. He did not play that much competition in the SEC. However, he still stands out, and I still think that's the way to go over a guy like Alec Ayumanor. The problem is when I've assessed this, I really have a hard time picking a guy like Trey Harris over Jaden Higgins. And the reason for that is I've seen Jaden Higgins do it consistently against great defenses. I understand the Big 12, but Big 12 puts up points. He did it against Texas as well. He was a big time problem when they played Texas. This dude's a problem. 6'4", 212, ran a great time. Um, Best case scenario, he could be a Nico Collins light. Um, but you want to get a guy like that when you throw deep balls, I believe the ones that were catchable, he caught 19 out of 19 of them. You need a guy like that to attack the intermediate and deep and outside the hashes. That'll tremendously help your offense and not suffocate your quarterback in the passing game. So with the second round pick, we're going to take a guy like Jaden Higgins. Hopefully the board swings well. The wide receiver class, I don't really like it moving farther down in the draft. There are some guys that I do refer to as sleepers, but they're not what I would want to do consistently. Okay. Kyren Lacy's interesting. I don't know the legal ramifications of what's going on, so I'm not going to touch. That's another guy that's a sleeper, but there's a lot on that I don't know, so we're not going to even touch it. So we're here in the fourth round. Good players are here like Ty Felton, Anthony Belton, um, David Walker is pretty good. Savion Williams, I don't think he's going to be here in the fourth round, but we'll just let it ride. Okay. So what I think a good pick for the Titans would be here is to address either the linebacker position or the tight end position. So I really like these three guys a lot, and there's another guy I really like a lot, Teddy Buchanan. He was a linebacker transfer, former FCS guys at UC Davis. Really like his tape, man. Like an athletic score through the roof, does everything you need from that position. Demetrius Knight, really like him as well. Danny Stutzman, I really like him as well. Smail Mondon Jr., like him as well. Now, when you have a guy like Cody Barton, he's great. He's great. Good, good linebacker. Good. Um, you want to go for a guy that can laterally cover the field well. And Stutzman, while he ran a good time, is not very good in coverage. That is a big deal. And that is why we're not going to touch a guy like Jay Higgins. Uh, those things are very important when you're conducting your defense. This guy, the name's escaping me, but he's a former Baltimore Ravens assistant. So I know what he wants in a defense. He likes a guy like Malik Harrison. He likes a guy that can cover the field like Roquan Smith. Okay. So you want to get a guy like that, like Roquan Smith. So Smail Mondon is probably the ideal fit. He's not Roquan Smith. Okay. But he's light. And that is a great pick in the fourth round to further bolster your defensive roster. So I think that's another great pick. So far we have Cam Ward, Jaden Higgins, Smail Mondon. We've addressed three big time problems with this team. They've done a pretty good job in free agency as well. Okay, so now we're back here again in round four, later round four. We can take a guy like Ty Felton. Logan Brown again for depth. I don't hate it. I think he's a guard at the next level or a right tackle. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But their tackles are kind of booked up right now. So we don't want to go crazy here. It's tricky though. This is very tricky on how you want to play this. Malachi Moore seems to be falling a lot in these mocks, and it's crazy to me. I think he's a really good player. I think he's a really good player. So another thing we need to address is that tight end room. But the problem is this tight end draft is not that deep. There's not a lot of guys here. A guy that I take later on isn't even on this list, dude. Like he's not. And I really like him too. He's just not on this list. So I would take him, but he's not. And that's oh, the name's escaping me. He's out of Wyoming. I like him a lot, but I would take him late, and he's not on this list, so we're not even going to do it. So, but with the tight end room you have now, it's not you're not you're not panicking with it. Like Chico Conquo is a good player, so it's okay. So far we have Jaden Higgins, and I think we can get a guy like Ty Felton. So now we have Ty Felton, Jaden Higgins, Calvin Ridley. That's a great, great, great job of addressing this. So I'm gonna keep looking here to just make sure. Let's take out Edge, Ladejo. Yeah, Antoine Paul Ryland. I like Antoine Powell, but nobody that I'm freaking out that I need to draft. So check out safety, Jalen Reed, Sebastian Castro, Malachi Moore. We can get a guy later. We can get a guy later. You want to get a guy later. So, Ken Prather, Nick Nash. Yeah, no. No, the pick to me is Ty Felton. So Ty Felton would be very complimentary to that offense with Calvin Ridley and Jaden Higgins. Okay. Back here, round five. Yeah, early round five, pick 141. So now we've really addressed and tried to help out Cam in developing his game, and that with getting him receivers and talent, that's important. Um, Another thing that we can look into doing potentially is either taking a running back or going addressing that safety position on that defense because that defense is damn good, man. Like it really is. It's like you have really good talent on that defense. And they kept you in a lot of games last year that you should not have been in because Will Levis would just go full tism and turn the ball over. And that's just not good ball. I really like Hunter Waller. Really like this kid. Really good athletic score. Like his tape at Wisconsin as well. With that defense, I really do. And Craig Woodson is another one I like as well. So Craig Woodson, or look at Craig Woodson, Hunter Waller, or you could look at addressing the running back room, which if you're going to do it, you would get a short yardage back that you could develop. Doesn't have to play right away. Tyjae Spears is a good third down back. If he turns into a workhorse type guy, like that's cool. But Jahmyr Gibbs level, I don't see it. So I would look at possibly taking a guy like Damian Martinez with Cam at Miami. So if he's still there at 167, we could go ahead and do it. Or we can take Hunter Waller. It's tricky. Yeah, I'm gonna help out Cam. I'm gonna take Damian Martinez at 141. That's kind of a reach, but I really like Damian's tape. I mean, you could have gone Dylan Sampson, but I think that's redundant um, with the current makeup they have already with Tyjae Spears. So we're at 167. Perfect. Hunter Waller's still here. That's perfect. So we're gonna take Hunter Waller, and we're just gonna keep adding to that defense. All right, 178. We can kind of go best BPA here. Is best player available, and I like the two D tackles they have, but you want to have a position where you can rotate guys. That being said, Anais Peebles is here. I like him. Don't love Anais Peebles. I really like Ty Robinson, man. I really do. I really do. I think he's a big time sleeper in this draft. So I'm gonna take Ty Robinson out of Nebraska. If you watch that the game against Colorado, you really like Ty Robinson as well. Um, he has good tape. Back here at 188. So far, great draft. Um, Another thing we need to look at possibly doing is taking a backup guard to potentially see if he can come in, learn the system, learn the offense, and maybe play if someone gets hurt because they're kind of thin in the interior offensive line room. I really like Josh Breed from Michigan. I think that's a good pick. Addison West is a good pick as well if you want to do that. I really like him from Western Michigan as well. Both those guys. Or you could take a high end guy like Xavier Truss. That's kind of shaky to me. Just because he had a good recruiting ranking doesn't mean he's a good player. Connor Colby's a great player as well. Yeah, the way this team likes to play, you could tell this team really wants to be physical. So this guy I really like, especially for round 6. He was at Incarnate Word as well. His name's Nash Jones out of Texas State. Um, Played a lot, played tackle. Not obviously not going to be an NFL tackle. He's going to be a guard. But if you watched him at the Shrine Bowl practices, he held his own. He was awesome. I think he has what it takes, personally knowing him, to be a good offensive guard in the NFL. So, best case, he could be a starter, like a spot starter. So I think that's a great pick in the sixth round, and way down here. So I that's fine. Don't worry about these rankings. Okay, so I really love this mock. This is honestly the best case scenario mock so far that I could have came up with in the dry runs that I've done. Cam Ward, Jaden Higgins, stud. Add him to Cam Ward, dude, he's gonna flourish. Him and Ty Felton with Calvin Ridley, really like that offense. Smail Mondon Jr. at linebacker, add him to that linebacker room. Play up, play. He'll probably start week 1 next to Cody Barton. Ty Felton may start. I mean, best case, dude, he starts week 1. He'll probably start like week 4. They might do Van Jefferson and try to do that whole thing. Just fine, whatever. Ty Felton will probably take that job though. Damian Martinez, really like him for short yardage scenarios. A lot of these teams are doing running back by committee. It's a perfect one to go by. Hunter Waller, add him to that safety room. Ty Robinson, trenches. Nash Jones, trenches. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I'm crazy. But yeah, Cam Ward's going to go 1. I think this is a great mock draft for the Tennessee Titans moving forward. Perfect, perfect scenario moving forward for the Tennessee Titans. So, Hunter Dawn, peace. Let's see.